Hello, everyone. Welcome to LoFi History here at the Northeast Georgia History Center. I am Libba, and we have Marie. Hey, Marie.
Hey.
And, I can't quite see who that is. They've been so quiet and stoic all day. It's Glen! Yay! Who knew? Now, Glen, will you be breaking your vow of silence for LoFi History? I hope so.
I guess I could. Just for this 1 hour.
Yes. Well, hello, everyone. Oh, I see we've already got Wendy and, Olivia. Hey, Olivia. And Terry is here. Hey, Terry.
Hello.
Great to see y'all, and great to be back for another LoFi History. And if this is your first time joining us, this is your chance to ask our lovely historians, Marie and Glen, your history questions. So if you have a history question, then go ahead and chat it for us. I'll be taking a look at the chat. Olivia, Terry, I know y'all are always curious folks, so go ahead and chat your questions as well. But yeah, welcome back. It's been a lot of fun lately here at the History Center.
And busy.
Yes, very busy, always busy, but
Yes.
particularly busy because we just finished our third annual 24-hour telethon! Yeah! And it was fantastic. We raised over $5,000 for Gainesville Reads. I think the final number was $5,655 or something around there.
So we exceeded our goal.
We exceeded our goal. Yes, that was so exciting. Oh, I see Karen Owen is here. Hey, Karen.
Hey.
And Josh is here. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Hello.
Excellent. Karen says, hi, Friar Glen. Yeah, exactly. You just need that sweet haircut where it's just like, shaved on the sides.
Well, you know what? Nature's trying to take care of that for me. So give me a little while and we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll check in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why they had that haircut?
So.
Yeah, what's up with that? That could be our first question.
Yeah.
What's up with those haircuts?
Yeah.
So the idea of this technically is a monk, someone in the monastic life, not necessarily a friar who was someone who went out into the world to minister unto the secular folk. A monk withdrew from the secular world, theoretically, to live a life of not solitude necessarily, but a contained life. So those who entered the monastic life were supposed to humble themselves from all vanity and sins of the flesh. So this is why they're in gigantic, unflattering, plain robes, and the hairstyle was supposed to be somewhat, like that, right? So the tonsure, everyone's tonsure looked like that, where they would trim around the top of the hair, except for Irish monasticism, which is when they sort of did the opposite of that. They basically shaved everything up until you had a tuft of hair in the top.
Oh, I wonder if I can find that. Irish monk?
Yeah, Irish tonsure, Tonsure. See if you can find a picture of that. That was the in the early to middle church, everyone had disagreements and things about that. So the Irish decided to do things a little. Either way, it was pretty unflattering, and that was the idea.
Okay, so we're looking at this kind of.
See,
that's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the same thing. That's the classical continental and
where is
English tonsure.
Let's see. Roman, Celtic? Oh, like these guys over here?
Yeah, like that guy. Yeah. So they had different kinds. So.
Interesting.
And it's something they had to keep up with, obviously, unless you're of a certain age, where male pattern baldness is working for you in that particular setting. It was a constant thing. You were supposed to shave your head at least, or have it shaven once a week.
Interesting. All right.
To keep that look going.
All right.
So give us a little more context on your particular outfit today. Like, what era could this be from?
The history of monasticism in Western Europe is very, very fascinating. But I personally this is sort of I'm aiming at an 11th to 12th century monk. But of course, that all ties right back into that's when the Battle of Hastings and all that happened, right?
Yes.
And the spread of monasticism, continental ideals into England, lots of things going on. But it didn't, this basic habit didn't change fundamentally for literally hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So I could wear this and say I'm a monk from as early as 400 to 500, all the way up almost until the 1600s.
Doesn't go out of style.
Doesn't go out of style. You know, some of the and you know, monks are not naked under this necessarily, because they're in northwestern Europe and it can get very cold, and so they have very basic clothes, you know, like a shirt, and then, you know, hose and brays and shoes and things like that on under this. And if it's very cold and they're having to be outside and work or travel, they're going to put more things on underneath.
Right.
But the habit itself always goes on top. And this hood is made specifically, you can see how big it is, so that it can provide a lot of protection from the wind and the rain. But also, if you were seriously just looking for some solitude at the monastery, just kind of sit in a corner, you can literally pull this over your head.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah,
I feel
I'm.
like you look like
just kinda get that.
you know, high school student. With
Yes,
a
right.
hoodie.
Yeah. I'm meditating.
It's a thing. I mean, it's the exact same thing. So
That's
yeah,
fun.
it's a lot of fun. And I will say this and move on to your much more stylish gear. The older I get, and the lazier I get, this is one of those impressions that I prefer to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause there's nothing to it.
There's nothing to
There's
it.
nothing to it. It fits in a box about this big.
Yeah.
You can pick it up, carry it, put it on. In the middle of summer, you may be a little bit warm, but other than that, it's the perfect old man impression.
Yeah,
It really
I mean,
is.
like I wanna curl up in a what do you call it again? A
A
robe?
A habit.
A habit.
It's a
Okay,
habit.
so that's a habit. All right.
I guess a modern take on it would be the what is it? The snuggie.
No,
The
this
Snuggie.
doesn't look like a Snuggie.
It's a medieval snuggie.
It's a medieval snuggie.
Yeah.
Okay, new swag from the History Center.
A medieval
snuggie. I
We'll
love
like
it.
embroider the logo on it.
Yeah.
Great.
There you go.
These I mean, you could hide everything in these sleeves.
Yeah.
Pull your hood up and be the mopey teenager. At the
Yeah.
high
Yeah,
school.
there you go. All right, well, time traveling,
Yes.
maybe over 1,000 years, right?
Oh,
I
at
guess.
least.
At
About,
least.
yeah.
Let's go to Marie. What are you wearing
Yes,
today?
so I have on a vintage 1970s dress. So complete with giant collar.
Yeah.
Far out,
Let's
man.
go, yes. And like fun psychedelic orange polka dots. So I got this at a vintage shop in Savannah.
Cool.
So it is you can feel like the polyester and rayon. I feel like I would go up
Yeah.
like nobody's business if
Yeah.
there was an open flame
Yeah.
anywhere around here. But yeah, and then I just, this is one of those ones where it's easy to do my hair because
Yeah.
you just part in the middle and
And
you just
whoop.
let it go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I have the nice long psychedelic 70s hair. It's not as straight as some people would probably try to like flat iron it because like you wanted it like stick straight. I don't know why, but that was
That's
style.
the
Yeah.
style of the time.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, like everyone wanted like super long, like super straight hair.
Yeah. It is kind of more like futuristic in a way.
Yeah.
And I guess that's sort of a vibe that was happening in like.
Because it was weird because like you had the 60s and you had the giant
Yeah.
beehives and like very big poof, and then you went like down to very
It's rebelling against the
straight.
parents.
Yes,
Ah,
but
there
then
you go.
again, you had like a swing the other way because 80s is all about big again.
Because you're
Yeah.
rebelling against your
Because your
parents.
parents.
Yeah. That's so.
And then 90s you had grunge.
Yeah.
90% of fashion is rebelling against your parents.
Yeah.
Can't
Oh,
look
that's
like
great.
mom and dad. Oh my gosh,
No.
Nope.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I love the dress. What a cool
Thank
find, especially to find it in historic
Now-
Savannah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you looked at it in detail. Does it look like it was store-bought or does it look like it was made from a pattern?
I actually think it's made from a pattern
Cool.
because I was looking at the finishes on the inside and it looks
That's cool.
pretty
I mean, that's
done.
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, did someone make this?
Because they still, in the 70s, they
Like,
still
at
wore
home?
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
And also the way that they did the sleeves here, where there's like a little gap,
Uh-huh.
where I don't think they figured out how you make cuffs. Yeah, so that's another reason.
Yeah.
This little fun little gap here makes me think that it's was home sewing.
I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
even cooler.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I mean, because it's harder to find.
Right, yeah.
You know, somebody made this, so
Neat.
it's super cool. And now it's mine.
Yay! That's
It's also
awesome.
really fun. There's actually like a so it has a zipper up the back, right? Because we're in the 70s. And then the collar actually splits in the back. It's so giant. But there's a little hook and eye in the back, so you can like hook your collar together.
To look right.
Yeah, so that it looks right, and like it'll stand up and have like that just, giant collar.
Yes, look at me collar.
Yes.
Love it. Super stylish. And Karen says groovy. And Barbara says, I still wear my hair like that. I just like straight rather than wavy. Yeah. So it's still groovy to this day. And I see we've already got some questions in the chat. We've also got Alma is here. Hey Alma! Welcome back. Karen's here. Hey Karen.
Yeah.
Karen Alderton. We got a couple of Karens in the chat. One on YouTube, one on Facebook.
Yay.
We got Terry. Already said hi to Terry. Hello again.
Hey.
Okay, I didn't. Oh, and Richard's here. Hey Richard.
Hello.
So y'all, before we get into our questions, which go ahead and type away. If anyone's just joining us, go ahead and type your questions or chat your questions for Glenn and Marie for today. But we just had our telethon, and I see that a few people who entered our raffles, I should say, are in the chat. So we wanted to go ahead and announce our raffle winners. Of course, anyone who's not here today will be contacted, but we had a lot of great raffle prizes during our telethon. So why don't we go ahead and congratulate our winners. So let's go ahead and go to our very first winner. Okay, this one was the guided tour or an on-site program, and the winner is, drumroll, Carol Hanlon! Yay! Congratulations, Carol! And this was quite a popular one with 146 entries for this one. So congratulations, Carol Hanlon. You have won an on-site program or guided tour. Now, on to our virtual program. I'm very excited to announce that Alma has won! Yay! Out of 28 entries, Alma, you won our virtual program. So that means you get to time travel with us to meet a historic character. So we will be contacting you to see who you and Gabby would like to meet. So I'm very excited that y'all won. Yay! All right, we are going to go to now our Summer Music Fest tickets winner. This was donated by the Arts Council. Our winner is Daniel Nicodemo. Yay! Congratulations, Daniel. Very excited for you. So this is tickets for 2 to 8 concerts as part of the Arts Council's Music Fest during the summer, which is really exciting. Awesome. Congratulations, Daniel. All right, moving on to our Sewn by Marie bundle. This was an apron and beautiful embroidered kitchen towels and pot holders, as well as quilted pot holders. And the winner is Helen Purdon. Yay! This is a very popular one with 160 entries, so congratulations, Helen. Yay, those are so cute. I'm excied about those. Okay, next we have our historic games and toys bundle. Winner is Cheryl Vandiver.
Yay!
Wow!
Now this was the most popular raffle item with 297 entries. So Cheryl, congratulations. I'm sure, I have a feeling that that's going to go to some grandkids, perhaps. But I don't know. Maybe Cheryl wants them all for herself. We'll see. But congratulations to Cheryl. And next we have a family membership to the High Museum of Art. Angela Berg! Yay! So Richard, you can go ahead and tell Angela that she has won a family membership to the High Museum of Art. That comes with a lot of great perks, and they have so many great special exhibits coming up. So congratulations, that is a 6-month family membership. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Congratulations, Angela and Richard. I can say congratulations to you as well. I'm sure you'll be joining Angela.
If he's lucky.
If he's lucky. And let's see, our final raffle is a guided tour of the archives, and our winner is Carol Aitken. Woo! Congratulations, Carol. I know that she was really rooting for one of those tours. I'm so glad she won. So yay, that was our raffles. Congratulations to all. Yeah, got a lot of congratulations in the chat. And Alma says, I have to think about it, but off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with Juliette Gordon-Low with the Girl Scouts. Well, don't worry, I can talk to Daisy and get everything set up for you. So I would be very excited to host Daisy for you. Well, excellent, yay! Okay, now it's time to dive into some history questions. So, yes, let's dive in. So the first question we have today is from Barbara on Facebook, and Barbara asks, why were German World War II helmets different from the US ones, and was either type better than the other? So wow. I think I should Google a graphic, so let me find, why are you, I feel like you would have loved that.
No, I do, I'm trying to, Barbara, I'm trying to narrow it down.
Yeah, okay, so German World War II helmet.
Let's see.
Versus US.
Let me go all the way back.
The beginning of time. No.
The beginning of Germany.
Yes, the beginning of Germany.
The earth was without form and void. No.
Helmets hadn't
been
invented
in
yet.
the modern era, no, we're not going all the way back, but in the modern era, steel helmets started in World War I. And the French were the first. It was based on a fire helmet that was sort of already in production, but all these helmets were made to prevent or at least decrease the amount of head wounds. None of them are bulletproof, number one. But they're meant to prevent shrapnel, things falling from the sky, lower velocity projectiles. So in World War I, the French started off, and then they were not heat treated. So the French helmets were probably the worst, but they were the most of them. Then the British came up with that classic Tommy helm that looks like a flat pan. But then the Germans, being the Germans, came up with a really good helmet, the Stahlhelm, which was deeper, it had a lip, and it was meant to protect much more of the head, and that still was heat treated because the Germans had Krupp. Going into World War II, the Germans modified that World War I helm ever so slightly, made it a little more, a little bit smaller and a little less weight, and that was the one they developed, and that's the one you see in World War II, and it is an excellent all-around design. It was heat treated, it was stamped from a single piece of steel. Was it better than the American helmet?
Now let me show a picture.
Yeah, show a picture of
is this the correct? This is a World War II German.
That is okay. An M40. That is an.
Is there a specific one I should look at?
No, that's good.
Okay.
I'm about to get. No, that's it. They did slight changes to make production a little quicker over the course of the war, but that's it. Notice how it's got the brim that kind of can provide protection on the eyes. It's got a deeper skull so that it protects more of your head, and it's got that little flare around the back that protects down onto the neck. So this is an all-around protective helmet, and again, stamped from one piece, heat treated, very, very effective.
Now I also have, this is the United States.
That is the United States helmet. It was developed in 1940. The German helmet has an integral liner. The U.S. helmet has a separate steel pot and liner. That the American helmet is also heat treated. It's a little thinner though. It protects not quite. Notice it's still an all-around design.
Yeah.
And protects not quite as well as that German helmet because the steel is a little bit thinner. It is also, however, more comfortable and more practicable because you can take that steel top off and dig with it, carry water with it, use it as a water bowl to shave out of. It's a practical thing.
And
now,
I've also got the French one. Is this the correct French
yes,
helmet?
that's the World War II version, but it's, except for nerds like me, it looks the exact same. But yeah, that's the French helmet version. Now, which one is better? That sort of depends upon your point of view. But I will give you this little insight. Libba, look up Kevlar helmet. Look up 1980s Kevlar helmet. The United States used that style of helmet from the beginning of World War II all the way up until 1983.
Oh, wow.
When it developed a new helmet And I want you to look at the design and outline of this newer helmet.
All right, let me see
when you can find one. But it's made of a more modern Kevlar, which is like a fiberglass. Look at that one. Does that look more in outlay and design like perhaps the German one?
It's got the little more of a lip or whatever.
It's got the lip around it. It protects down on the neck a little better. So that was as a matter of fact, when they first came out, they called them the nicknamed them the Fritz helmet because in outline it looks way more like the German helmet than the classic World War II American helmet.
Yeah.
So, helmet design is a really cool thing. But yeah, so that's the difference between the German and the American. Which one was better? They each had their advantages and disadvantages, and one of the most important benefits of those helmets, of all helmets, is when you're actually engaged in combat, the first thing you're going to see and notice about people out there is the outline of their head.
Oh, right.
And identify. So you can't have a helmet that looks similar.
Yeah.
And so when you see that outline, that is immediately going to tell you who they are. Are they good guys or bad guys? And so, the differences in the outlines of those helmets was also very, very important. And there were a lot of people around the world, especially Europeans that were being liberated in 44 and 45, who heard soldiers coming, and when they saw the outline of that American helmet, the effect the outline of that helmet had on tens of thousands, millions of people in Europe, when they saw that come down the road and the other one go the other direction, unspeakable. Such a sense of relief and joy just from the look of that helmet.
Wow. That was a great question, Barbara. Thank you so much. I love it. All right, our next question. We've got what if from our good friend Josh. So Josh's what if for today is, what if Lincoln lost the 1864 election? Would McClellan have sought peace with the Confederacy or finished the war in a victory? He wouldn't have been great, that's for sure. That's what Josh thinks, at least. So
historians have gone back and forth on this one. To some of his constituents, when he was running in the 64 election, he did say that his goal was to end the war and stop the effusion of blood and the expenditure of money. If they want to go that badly, let them go. Certainly not the moral argument of freeing the slaves that Lincoln had adopted, of wiping slavery from the face of the North American continent. But again, put yourself in their perspective. If you're fighting a war and you're sacrificing fathers, sons, brothers, and it doesn't look like you're winning, you kind of just want it to end.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you do. So if McClellan had somehow managed to pull that election off, I think he would have tried. I don't know if he would have succeeded because there's a lot more moving pieces than just what the president wants.
Yes, I think the option would have been more on the table. It would have been there. And then the front of people's minds a little bit more. Because I think when Lincoln basically, won his second term, that's when people realized, oh no, he's, people obviously support what he's doing.
Right.
Which is the Emancipation Proclamation, continuing with the war that basically he had started.
Right.
So, he's going to see these things through to the end.
That election was a referendum on the issues.
Exactly. So
the issue.
I think, I guess it would have to be almost, for McClellan to have won, it would have to have been almost a whole different populist mindset.
Right.
Because even if McClellan had won somehow, and you keep all the other moving parts the same, the people I don't think were going to accept McClellan's ideas.
And Congress was very pro-war.
What kind of campaign did he run? I mean, what was his stump speech? McClellan.
In a nutshell, Lincoln sure is butchering this war. He's messed it up so far.
Did he have any kind of prior background or experience in war or military strategy?
McClellan was in charge of the Army of Potomac for the first part of the entire war.
Okay, I thought that name sounded familiar.
Yeah,
he was very bad.
Was he replaced?
Well,
he just wasn't very when he got around to fighting a battle, he wasn't very good.
Okay.
Yes.
His men loved him. He was counting on the vote of the soldier. Because the soldiers loved him.
Because they sat there on the banks of the Potomac and didn't do anything.
That's interesting that he would run in. I mean, I
well,
just
remember
wonder why he ran in the first place.
The Democratic Party, not all of which had left and gone south, they needed somebody to run against Lincoln, and in the middle of '64 in summer, the war was not going well. Didn't look like it was going to get won.
Yeah.
The middle of '64. Middle of '64, the Atlanta campaign.
Well, yeah, that's when it started.
Yeah.
Didn't end until September.
No.
So in the middle of '64, Sherman's still not getting into Atlanta like he's supposed to. Grant is losing 10,000 men a week trying to get into Richmond. He's not making that either. So Lincoln's war effort is floundering. Nobody's winning. But over the course of the fall, when Sherman actually does get into Atlanta in September, and then later on Grant does get around and closer to Richmond, then people are like, Lincoln's path to victory is working.
Interesting.
So this again.
Because you had victories before election.
Right, just before the election.
But I mean, isn't that the best way to do it? You know, you have your October surprise, is I think what they call it now.
It's almost like the Atlanta campaign was the chief determinant of the outcome of the entire Civil War. That's not something I've preached before.
Why don't we have a members program
We certainly do
on the
at least
Atlanta
one.
campaign?
Yes.
And a podcast episode. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's an interesting question. But I think Joshua, you're absolutely right with your last thing. He still wouldn't have been great.
No. He might have just sat in the White House and not done anything.
Yeah.
There was precedent.
Great what if this week, Josh. I'm sure it won't be the last for today. Now, our next question comes from Jack, and Jack wants to know when we first added a Mrs. Claus to Santa's life. Oh, I
think he was 22. She was 21.
Young love.
And yes, and I did a little bit of, good old Wikipedia, and it looks like the first mention of Mrs. Claus was in 1849 in a short story called A Christmas Legend by James Reese. And there's also mention of Mrs. Claus in an essay in Harper's Weekly in 1862. So we got 1849 to the 1860s. Right. So it seems like in the 19th century, Mrs. Claus makes her debut.
I mean, that's when Santa makes his debut too. So.
In a sense, yeah.
He makes his really first big appearance as actual. Well, he's still
ho
called
ho ho jolly.
Yeah, he's still called Saint Nicholas, but in the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," published in 1823.
Right, but what was his first name there?
Oh, it's still Saint Nicholas.
Saint.
Yes, that's right.
Saint's supposed to get married.
Yes. Yes. So.
Sometimes people are.
But when he goes from saint to Santa. Then you need a.
But saints can get married because they're just normal people.
They're not.
And then
usually
they get sainted.
Yeah, how's that work?
Because they have a miracle that they do.
Isn't it like the religious
but they're
leaders?
usually not married. It's preferred that they not be married. So I mean that's the thing. So
they can be though.
Yes.
So
sometimes, but
Jack,
Santa.
Yeah, it seems that Mrs. Claus, maybe she just didn't want the spotlight at that time, but it's in the 1800s.
Right. Well, and Santa being eternal, I'm sure had a long time to get everything figured out.
Did you say he's a turtle? What?
Not a turtle.
Eternal. I was like,
no,
that's something
sorry.
I never knew. Santa is a turtle.
Yes.
He's a jolly old elf.
Yes.
So it probably took him that long to get all the Santa stuff figured out.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know what? I could use someone in my life.
Yeah.
That's not a wooden carpenter elf person.
Yeah. Because he was kind of going through a life transition from Saint Nicholas to Santa.
Yeah.
Right.
So once he made that big life change, then he was able to settle down.
Yeah.
That's true.
So hey, Jack, maybe you could read A Christmas Legend. Again, that is by James Rees. That's Rees. So look up A Christmas Legend, and you can see the first mention of Mrs. Claus. Yeah, that's fun. Oh, and apparently, in another story, Lil's travels in Santa Claus land, Mrs. Claus is the keeper of the naughty or nice list. So a very important job for Mrs. Claus.
Really?
Apparently,
I've been bribing the wrong person.
Yeah. Now we know.
Now we know.
Yeah. Well, excellent question, Jack. Thank
That's
you
good
so much.
information.
It is.
Yeah. Now,
Maybe Mrs. Claus could stand a few letters this year. Then.
Yeah, maybe we should send them to Mrs.
we should. That's right. We should send some to Mrs. Claus.
Just like nice letters about all the great things we've done.
Yes, put in a good word for the big man. Yeah.
It's like a grant letter, but to Mrs. Claus.
You know, it just hit me.
Oh?
Perhaps that's a question the big man could be asked himself
Oh?
What?
on December 18th,
That's
Yes.
right here at the Northeast Orange
Oh, that's
Ministries.
right,
For our
y'all.
Appalachian Family Day.
This is the perfect time to share with everyone that we do have a really awesome Family Day coming up. This is probably the most popular family day that we have. It is our Appalachian Christmas, and it's a different kind of Christmas theme each year. This year it is Appalachian Christmas. We've done Victorian Christmas.
We've done Dickinson.
Yeah.
Christmas.
So you can see right here, this is our events page if you want to see more information, but it's our free Appalachian Christmas Day, or Christmas Family Day, and this is going to be on Sunday, December 18th from 1 to 4 p.m. And yes, you get a free picture with Santa Claus, but there's so much else going on. We're going to have an 1800s dance lesson, Appalachian apple cake tasting, music and carols, history of Christmas traditions. Am I missing anything? I mean, it's just going to be a whole lot of fun.
We're going to make Christmas cards.
Yeah.
We're going to sing some songs and carols.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of
You can
fun.
make some Christmas decorations. We're going to be stringing popcorn and cranberries.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
learning about the different, types of decorations, what people would put on their tree. So yeah, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So do join us if you can on Sunday, December 18th.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, I'll be there.
Yeah,
Come
we'll
see
all be
me.
there. Yeah.
I'm going to be making the apple cake.
And I will be taking pictures and probably eating some of the apple cake. So.
Also, you should come because I'm going to have apple cake recipe. So if you like
Ooh,
it,
yeah.
you can take it home and make it yourself.
Yeah.
Not copyrighted.
Nope.
It's still old.
Yeah. All right. So our next question comes from Olivia. So Olivia says, due to my broken collarbone, oh no, and recent interactions with the healthcare system has gotten me thinking, how has the concept of a hospital changed and evolved throughout history? That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
That's a good program. I'm gonna write that in our programs list, Olivia. Let me do that while y'all think. So history of hospitals.
About where do you want to start?
Yeah.
Yes, here we go. Western centric.
Okay.
There weren't really hospitals as we think of them in terms of a place for sick people to go to get better. Not in ancient Rome. Again, healthcare was usually done within the home in ancient Rome. Usually done so in the medieval period if you had access to much healthcare at all. So, and again, it's not that they were trying to keep healthcare from people. It wasn't that advanced.
And a lot of times it would fall on like the matriarch of the home, and that was going to kind of be her job is to, care to the sick. And then you would just hope that they have a lot of practical knowledge of, some people would say even like herbal knowledge.
Yes, very much.
Is very much what you had because, standardized medicines do not exist in ancient Rome or in medieval Europe. Not like we think of today, like, oh, you go to the pharmacy and get a pill. Like that doesn't exist yet. So you have a lot of traditional herbal medicine. Sometimes, especially in medieval Europe, you had like older women who perhaps were either widowed or never married, and they would kind of be like quote unquote like the healers. And it's so upsetting because a lot of times these ladies were also ostracized from society, and when you had the great witch hunts in the Middle Ages and into the Renaissance, a lot of them got killed.
Got.
Yes. So we have lost a lot of herbal knowledge. It is theorized because of that, which is very upsetting.
Wow.
Of course, there were doctors in ancient Rome.
Oh, sure. Physicians.
They had some weird ideas about how to treat things.
Not weird.
Some of them were weird.
Humors are totally natural.
They totally exist.
Well, they do. Just not like they thought. Gotta have your four humors. Yes. Your blood, your bile, your phlegm.
It's black bile, yellow bile, phlegm, and blood.
There we go. I combine my biles.
I'm quite the 11th century doctor.
Oh,
so
yes,
if you need leeches or things like that, you call me. Plus my experience on Oregon Trail, but that's another story. The first hospital proper that I can think of is the Order of the Hospital in the Holy Land. The Hospitallers, right? We think of them as an order militant, knights and everything. That's not how they started out. They started out as a monastic order that provided care for people who needed not just health care, but like rest, or people who needed food or a place to stay and things like that. And so these donations would pour in, and they had the hospital.
Like
remember
this
the
guy.
those are the Hospitallers.
These are the Hospitallers.
Yes.
The hospital itself.
But the hospital itself. And so remember that the root word there is hospitality, and hospital share the same Latin root words. Time goes on, and hospitals moving into like the 18th, 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries, again, are sort of centralized places where, the indigent go, where the very, very poor and the homeless go because they don't have homes to be treated in themselves. So
and it was considered very taboo if someone you knew, like one of your family members, had to go to a hospital. Oh, good gracious, that's terrible for you because you aren't taking care of your family.
Right. So it's not,
1500 is this depiction of a hospital. This is the Wikipedia history of hospitals page. So apparently this is Paris.
Paris was one of the big ones, right? As you would imagine. The idea of what we have as a hospital today, which is where everyone goes to get better, really, I would argue, and I don't know what the Wikipedia page says, that's really going to begin in the early 20th century, because specialized medical expertise and the technology to diagnose and treat people advances at that point. And that stuff you can't take to individual homes. That stuff is held at a centralized location. Then you have to go to it. How many CAT scans have you had at home recently?
Right.
Or even, or anything, not even a CAT scan, just an x-ray or something. So when the technology and the specialization started having to be centralized, that's when people started going to the hospital rather than healthcare coming to them. And I think that's very early, but that's very 20th century.
I would also argue, because this is something I talk about when I do my Civil War nurse talk, is because during the Civil War, they realized, good gracious, we don't have hospitals.
Right.
We don't have those things and we need them. Oh no, what do we do? So then they started turning churches and hotels. Hotels make some pretty good hospitals because you have large amounts of beds, large rooms.
And then the army started building permanent hospitals further behind the lines. Not just churches and hospitals.
Or the U.S. Patent Office. Why not turn that into a hospital? Because they definitely did that.
But again, because of mass casualties.
Yes, that no one was prepared for.
Yeah. It seems that... Oh, I'm sorry. Marie, go ahead.
Oh, yes. So once you get past the Civil War, you start to have a large influx of people who have had at least some medical experience.
Yeah.
Especially ladies. This is kind of their first introduction on the American continent into the profession of nursing. And a lot of people thought, hey, like I've done that and I enjoyed doing that. I felt fulfilled doing that. Maybe I should look into that further. So you have some young women who start to go and try to get training to become nurses and to go into these new hospitals that are coming out. And you really have a surge in the medical profession right after the American Civil War. Now, it's not just because of the American Civil War. You have a lot of different factors. You had Florence Nightingale who had started the first nursing school ever, right at like the late 1850s, early 1860s. I think it's like 1860 is actually like when her school opened. And that's the first nursing school ever for ladies to be able to go and attend. So it's not something that's just happening in America. It's also happening around the world. But as we realize more about the body and like what, this science
germ theory.
Germs.
Right?
We start to
Lots of germs in a house.
Yeah.
Like, hey, and also, good old Crawford Long right here in Georgia actually, discovered we can put people to sleep with ether, which actually made surgery a viable option. So before that, it was really just like,
surgery was a last resort.
That we think
a last resort, not a first.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So now, because of surgery, people still had surgery in their homes. That happened. But it makes more sense to go to a place where you have all the surgical tools and all those things.
The equipment's in the recovery rooms.
Right.
Yeah. Where people can take care of you. But that really started really like late 1800s. I would argue, though, that there are, we would call them sanatoriums.
Yeah. Someone mentioned that in the chat. That's right. Yeah.
Yes. So there were sanatoriums, which can be used as like a nice word for an insane asylum, which have existed far beyond, very old, because where else do you put the crazy people? Because there was not a way for mental health care did not exist. So if someone had an illness that they were not recovering from, that didn't seem like it was physical,
put them in a sanatorium.
They didn't know what to do.
Which also contributes to that negative
stereotype
of a hospital. If you have to go to early on, if you have to go to a place, it's not good.
Yeah, that seems to be just what I'm gathering from browsing the Wikipedia page on this, and I'll share this just so we can take a look at the cool pictures too.
Yes. And then there was also sanatoriums for wealthy people. Where it's I have tuberculosis, and I need to go rest in the mountains.
Yes.
Those were also called sanatoriums.
Okay, right.
But it was really more of a extended stay hotel.
Yeah, right.
You can tell by someone's clothes which kind of sanatorium they were going to.
Now here are a few pictures. So just going all the way back, there is mention of like, this is a military hospital construction from the Romans.
And the military hospitals are a different critter because the military, as Marie pointed out with Civil War, always has to have hospitals because it's got huge amounts of men in one place. Even if there's no battle or war going on, a lot of people are going to get sick. A lot of people are going to
they're not at their houses.
Right.
Yeah.
They are on the move or in barracks, so they have to have a different place for them.
Right.
This is, let's see, when is this from? I can't tell, but it's in Egypt, and a notable Mansouri hospital. So maybe when we do a program, we'll learn a little bit more.
Remember, I started out by saying Western-centric view because I'm not as well versed on the other stuff.
Because there's a huge difference between Western and Eastern medicine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
And even Middle East, Near East, Middle East, Far East, it's all...
They have very different views of bodies and what was good for them and how
I still think the humors are the way to go, though.
Here we have a 16...
Everyone needs a good bleeding now.
Everyone! Here we have a German engraving from 1682, but this is also described, like you were saying, more as a sanatorium type of place, sort of a place of refuge. We got Guy's Hospital in London in 1820, but this is established in 1724, so we could learn a little bit more about that.
Now, giving money to and going to work at a hospital or a sanatorium was not considered. That was considered very noble because you were helping the people in need.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you had to go as a patient, that's a different thing.
Here's Florence
You can give money. You can go volunteer.
Right.
Just you wouldn't go there yourself.
Yeah. So it does say that like professional in the mid-19th century, hospitals and the medical profession became more professionalized. So I think you were on the right track, but I think that'd be a really cool program, and then we can interview people who work in a hospital today.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
We have a whole section about that in our galleries because Northeast Georgia Medical Center, it's a huge employer here. sometimes I have gotten a call thinking that we were the medical center. And a lady was trying to schedule like some heart test with me, and I was like, no, ma'am.
Next time, say, you don't need a heart test. You need a bleeding.
No. We'll schedule an appointment with Dr. Glenn. We've got
from the Oregon Trail.
Yes.
All the Oregon Trail knowledge.
So we have a great section here in the exhibit, and we do have, again, we keep harping on this, several members' videos on Civil War nursing.
Yep.
And at this point, those have been released to the public. So if you just go to our YouTube channel,
yeah.
So if you go to our YouTube channel and just type in, Civil War or whatever, or medicine.
Just type in medicine.
Medicine. Then
see what we got.
Yeah, it'll pop up. I've just been reading over the chat, and so folks who joined us for Oregon Trail during the telethon, you will be outside this inside joke, but Karen says, yeah, we all know what kind of Dr. Glenn is. And then Alma says, Gabby has been yelling, walk it off since Oregon Trail.
Sound medical advice.
Walk it off.
Yes. And then Karen said we need to interview Dr. Glenn. That's right. Oh my goodness, that was so fun. Okay, so we do have time for another question. It might be the last question because I know we've got a hard stop today at 5:30.
I know, I was about to say it. Did we do
right?
2 or 3 questions?
I know, yeah, but there's so much to talk about. So cool, Explore Gainesville is here with us. Hey, Explore Gainesville. If you want to know what is happening in Gainesville, then they are the place to go.
Check it out.
Yeah. Okay, so Richard, he was mentioning during the Crusades, the Knights of St. John provided the best medical care available. Yeah, or the Hospitallers. Okay, so that's what you were talking about as well.
Yeah, the Order of the Knights of St. John of the Hospital. Only in Latin.
Excellent. Now, okay. Well, that means we actually don't have another question in the chat, which is fine. But if y'all have anything y'all would like to be answered in a few minutes, then go for it. But I think one other thing I wanted to share is that we also have a very cool homeschool day that is next week. So I want to share that really quick while y'all are thinking of any last questions. Josh, I bet you have a what if for us if you're still with us there. But so taking a look at our upcoming events, our Homeschool Day, the American Civil War, this is going to be really cool. So you can meet both Union and Confederate soldiers. We're going to have a live weapons demonstration, making traditional crafts, and we'll also have a Civil War hospital set up. So Marie, tell us a little bit more about what folks can expect.
Yes, so it's a fun day here at the History Center with lots of living history, different things going on. It'll be on Wednesday, December 14th from 10 to 1 p.m. All of our activities are ongoing. We will have a firing demonstration at noon, though, so you want to be sure that you are here at noon to see the firing demonstration.
Yeah, that's going to be very cool.
We'll have Union and Confederate soldiers. Come see me, and we'll talk more about hospitals and nursing. Down in the cabin, I'm going to set up a makeshift hospital, kind of similar to like what they might have had to do. Because there weren't hospitals.
Right. Very relevant.
Set one up in the spare room that you have in the cabin. Homes got taken over as hospitals quite frequently.
Yeah.
We are also going to have a couple different craft activity stations. We're going to have, of course, civilians in the homestead side room of the cabin so that you can talk about with them. Would you have stayed when you heard the army's headed towards you? Do you stay? Do you defend your home or just hope that they don't bother you when you're in your home? Or do you flee and become a refugee? And if you do become a refugee, what do you take? So we'll have a packing station so you'll see just how hard it is basically trying to decide what you should take with you.
Yeah. That's a really cool activity. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So I got some carpet bags. See what you can fit in there. And how much cast iron do you want to haul? Not a lot, but you need at least one thing, because how else are you going to fry food for you to eat?
Yeah.
We're also going to have we got a telegraph machine here that we're going to fire up, and hopefully it works. It should. But those pesky Confederates, they stole the train and they started cutting all the telegraph wires. And
long story short, they invented the Medal of Honor.
Yes.
Yay.
That's another story.
Come to our family day and find out. You can telegraph Morse code Medal of Honor. And then also you can make your own ammunition.
Oh, very
cool.
Out
of beads and sand. Not actual explosives. Just Want to just make sure everyone knows that.
Yes.
But you will learn how to, in essence, make your own ammunition, like how you roll the cartridge, filling it, putting in the bullet.
Because that was an activity that a lot of women and a lot of older kids did on both sides during the war. That was sort of, ammunition production, because they made millions of rounds during the war. Yeah. And so someone had to do all that work. And it was the women and the children. Yeah,
that's going to be such a fun event. Now, I do see I missed 2 questions, so yay! Oh. We have 2 last questions for today. And Karen, to quickly answer your question about the book donation, yes, I spoke with Bob about the book donation. That is so cool. I didn't realize that it's your daughter who is a children's book author. I should have interviewed her next time. So we would love to accept the book donation. Thank you so much. Now, so we're going to go to Alma's question and then to Josh's question, because I think Josh will probably need a little more time for that answer. So, Alma's question, she was asking about the start of national stars, like radio stars and movie stars, like celebrity, like in America, who was the first big celebrity? And I kind of wondered.
Franklin.
I was gonna say that. Yeah. So Benjamin Franklin. But why? Why was he a celebrity? Why put him in that category?
Media.
Well, because he was.
Honestly, celebrity is driven by popular media. Period. And the more far-reaching, the more rapid the popular media, the bigger the celebrity becomes. Benjamin Franklin. Knew all the right people. He wrote his own newspapers. He distributed the newspapers as postmaster, so he knew which stories needed to go where and when and how. Self-promoter, perhaps, but he also could back it up with what he said. And then his work with electricity. So he wrote letters. He became well-known and well-respected, and as a result, he could move in circles and write letters to people. They would respond. When he began his electrical experiments, that catapulted him to international fame, right? They're in France. When he goes to France, they're selling, punch bowls and plates with his image on it. And he's a big deal. So he's probably America's first celebrity.
Now let me give you a little more context now that I've scrolled up to the question. Sorry, I missed that. Let's see. My A to Z thought to make this a theater question. Okay, so Gabby just started rehearsal for Once Upon a Mattress at school.
Oh,
very cool. And the original and remake both star Carol Burnett, who of course is big celebrity of the 60s? Is that around there? So now let's go from Benjamin Franklin to more like modern, so to speak, early modern celebrities.
Like with radio and television?
Radio and TV, yeah.
Well, you also have silent film stars even before that.
Oh, yeah. Who's that? Isn't there like is it Molly something? The first, like, really famous silent film?
Lillian Gish. There's Rudolph Valentino.
Both huge.
There was Looks.
Yeah. Greta Garbo is one that comes up.
Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was one that I feel like I had come across often.
And, the move. And that's the thing. A lot of those silent film stars were stars because they were very attractive according to the beauty standards of the day. And then when it moved from silent to talkies, it shifted the expectation of what the stars are going to be. To see a hilarious version of that, go watch Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly.
Watched that 2 days ago. Yeah. That was so.
But it turns out that the new star has a voice like this.
What's the big deal? You can also watch Downton Abbey 2.
Oh yeah.
The second movie, because half of that film is a British version of Singing in the Rain.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I was like, this is the British version.
And then and when people become popular, when they're good looking, when they're good actors, when they have a good voice, that popular media, radio, silent films, radio, television, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And they're going to get all those crazy contracts. At
Yeah.
first for thousands of dollars, and now for tens of millions of dollars. Celebrity is a dangerous thing. It makes role models of people who, more often than not, probably shouldn't be role models.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion.
Now, one person, now I don't know much about his personal background at all, but someone who comes to mind is Buster Keaton. And are y'all familiar with him?
Yeah.
If y'all are not, then he was a big comedic silent film era star and stuntman. He did all of his stunts, and I did a little bit of research on him. Just watch some of the short films that he's made. I mean, the ones I've seen, they don't get old.
He's way better than Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah,
Again, in my opinion.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. So check out Buster Keaton, and you will notice that there are so many things that film directors these days will borrow from Buster Keaton. Like for one example is like if you've ever seen that trope of like someone standing in front of a house and then the facade falls. Yeah. That's Buster Keaton,
Only he did it live with a real house
Yeah,
facade.
yes, he did. Yeah.
In one take.
Yeah, exactly. Karen says, yes, Singing in the Rain was great with the idea, with that idea of people not looking and sounding the same. It was cool that the actress had a lovely voice in real life. That's funny.
A shining star in the Hollywood firmament.
Aw. Yeah.
She's so good.
That was
She's so good.
Well, y'all, I've got, we've got 2 more questions, but I'm going to save them for next time. Or should I say next year?
Oh!
Get to start that again. Yes, goodbye. But y'all, we're going to leave y'all today with a little bit of a highlights reel from our telethon that we had. So we'll leave y'all today with that. Congratulations again to all of our raffle winners. And we'll join you in the new year for another Lo-Fi history. And thanks so much for joining us today. I'm going to make sure everybody didn't have anything else to say. Y'all are amazing. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, y'all, here are some highlights from the telethon. Here we go. Oh, hello. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, wow. What a big crowd here at the Cottrell Digital Studio for our 3rd annual 24-hour
Telethon!
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Ready or not, here I come. A voice called out. Samantha Parkinson held her breath and tried not to move.
Transportaba a otros mundos, a otros planetas. His people loved Juan's music. They transported them to other worlds, other planets.
Mr.
Peanut.
Nice.
Go.
Coca-Cola.
Fruit.
Peach.
Tree.
Not sycamore. Hickory oak. Live oak. Living oak.
Woof.
Sick'em. Go Dogs. Georgia. UGA football.
Tree. Woof tree.
Wolf tree. UGA arch. Woof.
It was dogwood.
Sorry, maybe this should have went to the.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that. So I've got I can only say one word, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I've got a word.
Millard Fillmore.
That's what I was gonna guess.
Oh, that's so funny. That's hilarious.
I've usually
Used
heard.
to, like, your getting ready process.
I've usually heard it marketed as eau de toilette.
That sounds way
Wait.
better than toilet water.
Everything sounds better in French.
Yes, right? Even toilet water.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. All right, let's go to our next one.
I'm going to be sure to draw the curtains, just like you always ask me to do for Aunt Myra. And let me show you how I do that. All right, here's the window, all right? And then I draw the curtains like this. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. And you know what I like to add? I like to add polka dots.
Not only did he have a saying for every situation, he generously shared them with anyone, anywhere, at any time. Fish and visitors stink after 3 days. That is a good one.
Dr. Lyon's tooth powder. All right, so here we have Dr. Lyon's tooth powder. Was it created in 1902? So we have ancient Egypt made tooth powder with salt, flowers, and mint, and some used burnt ashes of ox hooves. We mourn Terry.
I guess we should let's stop and rest and have let's have a pleasant spell next to Terry's grave.
Yes, exactly. How long should we rest? We're in poor condition.
Yeah, maybe like 4 days.
I was gonna say like a week.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's do a week then.
Let's have a good solid week of mourning.
We've been making an awfully good time. Oh.
Okay, here I go. Kaboom! Oh. Yay!
Got one. Shoot another one.
I want to get a deer.
I'll get a bison. We've got plenty of room in the wagon now.
But I don't want to waste
It
all
won't
the
be wasted.
meat.
Shoot him.
I got that deer.
Oh, okay.
And a squirrel. And a squirrel.
Stop it.
Yes, I got the
They're
squirrel.
expensive.